Hey, what's going on, you guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a custom thumbnail using KeyNote. So KeyNote is only available for Mac computers. If you have a PC, I'm pretty sure you can use PowerPoint and accomplish the same thing. So if you don't know how to make custom thumbnails, if you don't have Photoshop, or if you don't want to use a website called Canva, which is a free website, by the way, a great way to create custom thumbnails is by using KeyNote. So as you can see, I got KeyNote opened up right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up a new file. So there's basically two different types of themes that we can go with. We can go with standard or we can go with wide. So always go with wide when it comes to creating a thumbnail for a YouTube video. So I'm going to click on that one and it's going to open up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here, change the master. I can just click right here and delete it. But you can also just click right here and click on blank. So we have a blank slate to work with. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can see the whole picture. So that's our template, that's our canvas, what we're going to be creating our thumbnail on. Now, I can just upload a photo of myself and then just add text to it. Or I can just create text and color in the background to make my thumbnail stand out. So I'm just going to create a thumbnail with myself in it and then just add text to show you guys how that looks. So let me find a picture that I want to use. I got a lot of pictures right here. So I'm going to just drag this one right here and it's already on there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna resize this to use up the whole canvas. So just all you have to do is just click and drag and it's gonna resize however you want it. So I'm not gonna use the entire background for the thumbnail because I mean it's not really gonna look too good. So I'm gonna just make myself bigger and I'm just gonna add text to it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna click on text. And I don't know if you guys can see this right here, but this is text that popped up right now. And I'm just going to type in whatever I want to put the title in for the thumbnail. So I'm just going to type in create a custom thumbnail. So obviously that text is a little bit too small, but I'm going to first change the font. So I'm going to highlight the text and then I'm just going to select the text font that I'm going to use. I'm going to just go with impact. And right here is where we can adjust the font of our text. As you can see, I'm clicking the arrows up and it's making the text bigger. So I'm going to make it a nice, decent size. I'm going to go with 105 font. And that's pretty big right there. So when you're creating text or any kind of images or graphics for a thumbnail, you always want to make them stand out. So, I mean, I'm going to change the color right here. So I'm going to make this color, let's see. Right here we can change our color. I'm gonna make it maybe green, or red's a little bit too dark. I'm gonna make it a color that's gonna really stand out. So maybe no, it's too light. I'm gonna go with this nice green right here. So I'm gonna add a couple of effects to just make this text stand out. So first of all, I'm going to make the text at a certain angle. So I click on arrange right here and then I'm gonna rotate it. So right here you see this little ball in this circle. So if you click and drag that, you can see the text moving around. So I'm gonna make this text maybe at a certain angle right there. That looks good. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit, or maybe just adjust the angle a little bit. And what I'm also gonna do now is I'm gonna create a drop shadow. So it's gonna make the text stand out and it's gonna make it look like more three-dimensional. Now I'm going to click on text and then I'm going to click on this little setting gear right here. So I'm going to click on that and it's going to say shadow. So I'm going to click on shadow and then you're going to see this window pop up. Now I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a little drop shadow behind the text, and maybe you might see it if I adjust the image right here. See, I don't know if you guys can see that little shadow behind the text. And what I'm also going to do is I am going to, that's pretty good actually. So I'm going to leave it like that. It's kind of a subtle shadow, but I mean you guys can see it when I move it around. And then there's other options you guys can play with, like strike through. It just puts a line through the text. And then there's outline, so you just see an outline of the text. I mean, I don't know why you would want to go with that because you can't really see it, but I'm gonna just leave it like that. And I just might make the text a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna click on this again. I'm gonna just bring up the text a little bit more. Just like that. And then I'm going to add another line. So I'm going to click on text right here and then you can see this little box, and then I'm going to just start typing using KeyNote. So I'm basically gonna do the same thing. Just gonna increase the size of the font. I'm gonna put it at 105, hit enter, and I'm probably gonna make it a different color. Maybe a darker yellow. Yeah, that looks good. And then I'm gonna do the same thing. Click on arrange, and then I'm gonna rotate the text so it's at an angle. And right there is good. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Click on text, and then I'm gonna click on this icon gear and click on shadow. And now you can see a shadow because it's a lighter color. And I'm gonna just adjust the drop shadow so it looks like it's coming from the bottom. And then the offset is basically how far away the shadow is from the actual text. So as you can see, the higher I click the offset, the more it separates from the text. So 50 is the most, so I'm gonna just leave it at maybe 10, maybe 20. It's better. And then I'm gonna add one more line of text. I'm just put for newbies, and I'm gonna just increase the font one more time. I'm gonna put it at 110. See how that looks? That looks good. So I'm gonna just arrange this one more again and adjust it like that. So I'm gonna bring this down over here, and I don't know if I'm gonna change the color. Maybe I'm yeah, I'll just leave it like that. And then I'm gonna click on the settings gear one more time, and then I'm gonna just create another drop shadow coming from the bottom. And offset, I'm gonna bring that up a little bit more so it's separated, so it looks more three-dimensional. And that's basically how you can create a custom thumbnail using KeyNote. So what I'm also gonna show you guys is how to make a border around the, well, how to make an outline the border. So that's what makes your thumbnail stand out a little bit more. So basically, you just click right here where it says shape. I'm just click on this line shape right here, and you can see this line right here. And this is basically where you can just adjust it. You can make it however long you want. You can adjust the angle. So I'm gonna just go in here manually and then just put this around the border. So I'm gonna make it reach from one side of the border to the other. So you can see these white dots is where the line ends. Now you're probably thinking like, okay, I can't even see anything. It's just a black line on the border. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the color of that line. So I click on style, and then I click on the right here, and I'm gonna make the border green, and you still can't see it because the line is very, very thin. So I'm gonna just bump up the stroke right there. So as I bump up the stroke, you can see the line get thicker. I'm gonna bring it to 20 points, and I'm actually gonna make that a lighter color. So you can see the line now. So basically I have to do a line for every corner, or every corner. So since I already have the line for the left side, I can just copy it by holding down the option button for Mac. Well, I mean, it's basically for Mac. Hold down the option button and click this line and drag it, and it makes a copy of that line. So I can just place that on the other side. And I can actually do the same thing for the top and bottom. So I'm gonna click on option for this one, click on the line, drag it, and then I'm gonna just adjust it so it's long enough to reach the bottom borders, or to fill up the bottom borders. So just stretch it out right there, connect it, bring it down, make it longer, bring it down a little bit more, and then I'm gonna just copy this for the top part of the border. So option, click, hold and drag, and then just place it at the top of the border. So it's pretty simple. So that's basically it. So that looks, I mean, you might want to go in and just play with it however you want. This is basically a quick tutorial just to show you guys how you can make a custom thumbnail pretty quick and easily using KeyNote. So this is how it looks. If you want to zoom in, just click right here, zoom in to 75%, and then just hold down your space bar and then click and drag to move across the thumbnail or the canvas. So as you can see right here, it's not fully connected, so you just drag it a little bit more, and that's good enough. So yeah, that's basically how you make a custom thumbnail for YouTube. Now I'm gonna show you another way where if you don't want to use your own picture, you can just make a custom thumbnail using KeyNote. And I'm going to just create another slide right now. So I'm going to just click on add slide. And right here, I'm going to just click on blank and make sure that it's a wide 16 by 9. So you have a blank space, blank slate to go with. So right here where it says background, I'm going to click on that and I'm going to click on color fill. So I'm going to pick a color that I want to fill the background with. So I'm going to click on this one. Yeah, that's a good color. Or if I don't like that color, you can actually just adjust it through this color wheel right here. So I'm going to just go with this one and then click on text. And then I'm going to just put how to make a custom. And then right there, I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to highlight it so I can make the font bigger. Put it at 110. It's pretty big right there. So I am going to change the font color. And then I'm going to click on the range so I can put this at an angle. How to make a custom. Right there, just drag it up. And I'm also going to make another drop shadow for this one. Click on shadow and then you see this window pop up. And I'm going to make the drop shadow come from the bottom. And you can change the color of the drop shadow, by the way, so it doesn't have to be black. It can be red, but you can't really see it, but it can be any of these colors. So I'm gonna just go with black because that's pretty basic. And then right here, offset, you can just change that, make it farther away from the text. I mean, I think 12 is pretty good. And then the blur is basically how blurry you want the drop shadow to be. So as you can see, as I click up, it makes it more blurry, but I'm gonna just leave it at 10. So it's a little blurry, but it's not really too noticeable. And you know what? I'm going to just adjust it a little bit because it's a little bit. Yeah. Or if you guys can click on the arrows if you want to just move it a little bit. How to make a custom thumbnail? Click on text one more time. So I'm gonna click on text and then I'm gonna just make this text bigger once more, 105 this time. And then I'm gonna adjust it by rotating it, and there you go. And then color, let me see what color I want to make this using KeyNote. That's a little bit too light. I think I'll go with that green one. So you guys can come in here and play with it however you want, make it custom to your specific video. I mean, this is pretty easy. Once you figure it out, you can easily make custom thumbnails for your own videos. So I highly recommend, if you guys have a Mac, you guys come here and play with it. It's I mean, it's gonna save you money if you're trying to make custom thumbnails with Photoshop. And I'm gonna add a drop shadow one more time. And one more time for the text using KeyNote for newbies. For newbies, okay. And I'm gonna arrange this. So click on text, this gear setting again, click on shadow, and then just the same thing, rinse and repeat. And one more thing. Oh, I forgot to add a word. Yes, thumbnail. Forgot to add the word thumbnail. So I'm gonna just edit this and just stick it in between these two lines up top. So I'm gonna make this 101 font. Let's see, what color should I make this? And that's basically it. I mean, this is just a basic way to create a thumbnail, but I mean, you guys can come and play with it. You guys can take your time. The more you guys get familiar with KeyNote, the better you're gonna become at making thumbnails for your videos. And yeah, that's basically it. Let's see if I want to keep this background color. One more thing. Okay, so I just added this KeyNote icon. This is basically what you see whenever you open KeyNote. I just got an image from this off of Google, and I just added it. So I mean, this is basically an easy way that you can make a custom thumbnail for your video. So let me show you how it looks when you click on play. So it's gonna just look like that. So I mean, it looks pretty basic, but I mean, this is a great way to make your thumbnails stand out if you're gonna be just using standard thumbnails. So that's basically it. So I showed you how to make one using your photo. Just enlarge it and then create a border. Or if you don't want to use your photo, you can just make a background. Just fill in the background with a certain color and just add text and add a drop shadow and just add like any other pictures like clip art. And that's basically it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys learned something new. And if you guys want to see other videos regarding different methods when it comes to making money online, then I invite you to subscribe to my channel and also hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Well, that's pretty much it for this one. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.